these photos of who's gonna be here for the day?
We're looking this way.
Well, let's see, we can start the meeting,
Looking this way.
get part, and then get part of it done before they come out.
Troublemaker. I would be sorry if I was mayor.
You what?
I'd be sorry if I was mayor.
Yeah, we got Amy, that's all we need. We can start the meeting, someone, appoint someone as a leader, and we'll start the meeting.
There is payback to some things.
We can get the video statement out of the way.
You know, these are one of the reasons that I got involved.
I'm serious.
The heat.
Hey, don't blame that on me.
Proposal that was gonna build a creek.
Oh,
Yeah, in my backyard, even if you're gonna do that, okay? That wasn't a place to do it, but anyway, because of that.
You got them all.
You're welcome.
Well, we're happy. That was the best thing you ever did. Oh, wait, he signs my evaluation. I can't say that.
This is the reason that we got involved, you know that, right?
What's that?
Anybody else that wanted to talk about parking?
Because when they were building that, what is currently now the old living trail.
Yeah,
You know, that house proposal, one of them was on that.
I don't want trash talk.
One of that was never gonna happen. I could sit back and say, I recognize now, it's just, yeah, okay. But then, it was enough to get me to start coming to meetings. So it's his fault. It's all his fault. Yeah.
Please.
You didn't go to this retreat meeting, or did you?
I don't do these meetings anymore.
But sometimes, I have to go to.
They have not had a reach meeting, well, they didn't have one this week, did they?
Monday.
It was Monday.
Yeah.
It never showed up on the city's website.
Yeah. That's because Courtney was on vacation. I'm gonna go to the next reach meeting because gun violence and violence. It's
Okay.
fine. Fine for the violence.
Good.
And I am the head of the violence committee, so at least I have to be there.
Speaking of that.
But I have absolutely nothing at all.
I didn't see anything wrong with some, with the changes
I
that you.
should have.
Where?
I
Site plan.
Committee, some people are
Talk about you, they're gonna come this way and make it stack a 3-bay. We don't have an agreement with them.
We don't.
Originally,
It already
Too
contemplates the parking.
originally it was left in there
People don't want to pull in there.
with the last change because there was still some like home associations. And we didn't want to change it.
Well, no more. We don't find out.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
I don't have anything to talk about.
Good. Should be a quick meeting then.
Scissors again. Oh, at least that's better than just.
Yeah, we haven't.
and she didn't highlight 9, they changed the map.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Why were you doing it?
He has his spot. You're paying big bucks. I know, you know, at church too. Nobody better be in my backseat. Even the pastor said, well, maybe we need to move you up.
They have all the information.
Not happening. And I was that way, I'm like,
They did, I mean, it was.
back
Yeah,
some of that.
Make it official here, so.
Well, welcome everyone to the July 13th City Council meeting. I apologize for being late here. We're opening at 6:13. And we did have a closed session where labor negotiations are very tough. So we just ran a little over time, nothing to report out at this point. So with that, can I get the call roll, please?
Councilmember Karpinski Costa.
Present.
Councilmember Lopez Taff.
Here.
Councilmember Middleton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Daniels.
Here.
And Mayor Schaefer.
Here. All right, next item, please.
We have the flag salute.
What's that?
The flag salute.
Oh, the flag salute, thank you. So please follow me to the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item, please.
This meeting of the Citrus Heights City Council is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U-verse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at citrusheights.net. Tonight's meeting replays on Monday, July 17th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14, and this meeting can also be viewed on the city's YouTube channel.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item is approval of agenda.
Move approval?
Second.
Move approval by Daniels.
Seconded by
Dean
Jana.
Karpinski Costa. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item is public comment. And if you wish to address the council during the meeting, please fill out a speaker identification sheet and give it to the city clerk. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes each. When your name is called, please step forward to the podium and state your name for the record. At this time, I have not received any speaker sheets. So unless there's
Oh.
any from the audience. Oh,
Mr. Spencer's like to speak.
yeah, you can fill it out.
Friends are always welcome here. You should feel comfortable and not nervous.
Well, no, I just, is it on? It is on. Good. Good evening. My name's Thomas Spencer. I'm a constituent. And unfortunately, I was silly and I forgot to fill out a speaker form. But I had to stop by and say, what a bang-up job we're doing now and how pleased I am with the ways in the city's moving, the ways that the city is moving. And that's all I wanted to say. I was just at our little firework event, and it was fabulous, and other things also. So that's it. I'm going to go now. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks for being brief. Anyone else like to speak? Seeing none, can I have the next item, please?
Next item is comments by council members and regional board updates.
Councilmember Middleton, would you care to share with us what you're up to and why you're not here?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. Right now, you see that I'm remote because I'm at the Cal City's board meeting, representing our city and working on different legislative bills and priorities, which I'll dive into a little bit later. First, I just want to say we did a really great job with the 4th of July fireworks display, and I'm really looking forward to that continuing. And it was so great to, connect with all of my colleagues there and all the families. I attended the Citrus Heights Chamber Luncheon, and it was packed room with this amazing guest speaker who happens to be our city manager, Ash Feeney. And he covered all the exciting changes as a result of our focus area work plan, one of which was our fireworks event. And the city scoop is coming up here on, what is that? July 19th will be the first one at 6:30 p.m. And Cal Cities, the big thing that we need to be paying attention to is the energy block grant applications are due. The deadline was extended to July 31st. And that means that it's a formula grant program that supports initiatives that reduce fossil fuel emissions and decrease energy usage and improves efficiencies. Over 200 cities actually qualify for this. And it's a non-competitive grant, but the cities have to apply to receive funding. And the minimum award is about, $76,000. It just so happens that from our packet, I know the city of Citrus Heights will actually qualify for $137,000. And like I said, it's non-matching, it's non-competitive, it's just something that's there for us, and I will be sending all this information over to our city manager. And so far, that's my report.
Thank you very much. You've been working hard. Thank you for all of your effort. How about Dr. Jana Karpinski-Kosik? Would you share with us what you've been up to?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Did attend the Stars and Stripes for a short period of time, then I ran back to my fireworks booth. We were selling our Safe and Sanes. And I want to thank Cane's for bringing over a big jug of cold lemonade. I want to thank Texas Roadhouse for bringing over bundles of peanuts, which was, when you're sitting there, it's nice to just break peanuts open. And so sales were down this year. But I don't think it was due to the city's event as much as it was the illegal fireworks that were going around, just terrible. Okay, that's another one. I didn't attend a mosquito meeting, that'll be next Tuesday, but I do get updates. And so the update is that West Nile activity has really picked up. But the hot spots right now are like Elder Creek, Natomas, Woodland, so not quite around here. And they will consider ground spraying these areas if we can't control it with just local work. So if you want to check, the best thing to do is to go to fightthebite.net, sign up for spraying notices, and you'll find out if they're coming this way. If I can't warn you ahead of time, you're best going to the website. They'll notify you. And so right now, Citrus Heights is not in the eyeball, but there have been quite a few positive mosquitoes in the county and some dead birds, like 45 dead birds so far that have tested positive for the virus. So we do want to use your repellent. If you need repellent, you have an event, let me know. I'll get it to you. I have some left over. I was handing them out at the fireworks booth, and I'm happy to bring more over. I'm going to do a talk for Area 6 on the 25th on mosquitoes, if anybody wants to come to Area 6's meeting and see the wonderful slideshow I have of the ugly mosquitoes. I have that. I had a sewer meeting yesterday, and there's good news is that starting January 1 of 24 will be one district. So it'll be called Sac Sewer. You will be getting an insert in your September bill about the merger. I mean, it's not a merger, it's just Sac Sewer, these pipes are gonna combine with those pipes, and we're just gonna have one system. So it takes a while to transfer, all of the various aspects of becoming an employer, because currently through the county, they hire their people through the county, they do their billing through the county, they do all that through the county. So now we're going to be doing it ourselves. So they're getting ready for that, investments, all that stuff. So I look forward to that. Let me see if there's anything else in my notes. You wouldn't care that the cost of chlorine has gone up from 82 cents a gallon to $2.45 a gallon. And so one of the issues is how do we get better chlorine to chlorinate the water for odor control and for purification. So that's been the big discussion now, how to do that. So that was fun. And other than that, that's my report.
Great, thank you so much. Councilwoman Jane Lopez Taft, what have you been up to?
Thank you, Mayor. On the 27th, I happened to attend the San Juan Unified School District meeting. It was their last meeting of their fiscal year, and they were passing budget information, and it's always very, very interesting to find out. It was their final budget conversation, and so it's very interesting to find out how much is allocated for each school and area that they're responsible for. So I attended that. On June 30th, I had the pleasure of having a police station tour with the chief. It is amazing how much we accomplish in our police department. And so it was really nice to put faces to individuals and departments that help us out in our city. I really, really enjoyed that and look forward to knowing more. Of course, attended the fireworks event, and that was absolutely a joy and, a literal blast to attend. It was nice to have our community out together, enjoying time together. It was a non-alcohol event. And it was free from violence, strife, or anything that usually happens with a lot of gathered people in one small location. And we are happy to report that there was none of that at our event. And I heard nothing but praises for that. And finally, I have an announcement. The Sac County Library System has a commemorative Sacramento Kings card that you can convert your library card to, and that has debuted today. You can pick one up at your local library, exchange your current library card for this special commemorative Kings card as long as they have them. And that's it for me.
Great. Vice Mayor Daniels, what have you been doing?
Thank you. A couple things. No RT board meeting. It was canceled. I did attend the Veterans Center Spaghetti fundraising dinner, which was it was fun, as it always is. Good people, good times. If you haven't done that before, we have a great Veterans Center on Sylvan. Get involved, give them a day out of your life once in a while, and put some smiles on faces of people who have kept us free, is the way I'll put it. July 4th, wow. How can we, I don't know if there's enough words, honestly. I have never been to an event in my life, I think, where more people have expressed how wonderful the event was. It just over and over and over, social media constantly, personal contacts constantly. I don't know if we could have done it any better, honestly. I was so excited, so proud, so happy to what occurred. Huge thanks to the city manager, Ash Feeney, to Regina Cave, to the whole team that was out there sweating buckets. I was scared because it was so hot that people weren't going to show up, and they just came out. And so I can't wait till next year already. I'm already excited about next year, the flyover, the jets and all that. Are we talking about that yet? So come out next year. If you missed it, you missed it. And come out next year. It was absolutely wonderful. Coming up, August 1st is National Night Out. Just mark your calendar. I'm just bringing it up now so that you don't forget. Another wonderful opportunity to get out with your neighbors. Some neighborhoods really go all out and have a great time, and other neighbors are kind of quiet about it. Neighborhoods, I should say. But you have time to even organize something in your own neighborhood. If you need information, contact the city. I'm sure we can give you good information about what kind of things can happen and whatnot. But put it on your calendar and go out and meet your neighbors, have some ice cream, and do all that fun stuff. Today and tomorrow is a Spare the Air Day. It's getting hot, if you didn't know. And so the air is going to be bad today, so don't breathe today and don't breathe tomorrow, and you'll be fine. But try to limit what you're doing. Try not to go anywhere in your car if you can. Put things off, and just know that everything kind of adds up and what it does to our air around here. So, and then I think I meant to ask Ash about this, and I'm sorry I didn't before the meeting, but cooling centers, it's supposed to be very hot this weekend. Are we doing anything there, sir?
Yes, good evening, Council. Vice Mayor Daniels, we have a cooling center that'll be at our police station in the lobby there, and when I get to my city manager updates, I have a slide for that. But we're part of a regional cooling center solution, and there's also free rides that RT is providing throughout the region at these various cooling centers. So I'll be sure to cover that. We also have information that's been posted on our webpage as well as our social media accounts.
And that was my last thing. RT, Regional Transit. If you don't want to go hang out at the police station for one reason or another, jump on a bus. And if you can pull up their app, you can go free anywhere. They're all over Sacramento and in even areas close to here. The bus is probably air conditioned too, and you can ride for free. So take advantage of that and get out of the heat. And that's it.
Great, thank you. So I did not have any board meetings in the last 2 weeks, but I can't say enough about how many emails and positive responses that I received about the Stars and Stripes event. People that have been involved with the city before and kind of lost interest, really coming back around, and really, I just can't say enough. And they all said, we did a good job. I will tell you, we didn't do much. You guys did it. The city staff did it. I know that Ash was out there at 7 a.m. in the morning and went home at 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night. And Regina was just amazing. Really, really good job. So, I still hear events, and if somebody said, well, are we going to do it next year? Well, if the council chooses to approve the funds, I think we might. But you gotta, the bar is really high now. That's the concern, is we did so well. And again, as I walked around the crowd and talked to everybody, there was families there. Every a piece of grass was full in that park, all the way to the back, and people along the sides, and it was, I don't even know what the count of people there, but it was in the thousands for sure. And the band was remarkable. The Star Spangled Banner, I was really touched when I saw people stood up when the Star Spangled, the band, the leader of the band told me that they had to practice and learn that song for this particular event, and they did a phenomenal job. It was just an instrumental with a lead guitar and organ, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I started getting choked up when I looked out in the crowd and everybody was standing up with their hands on their heart. This is a very patriotic community, and we really, like I said, knocked it out of the park on this one. So thank you so much for staff for working so hard on that. Just a reminder, so after Steve Miller's passing, we're looking to fill his seat on the San Juan Unified School District School Board. He is District 7. The filing period opens on Monday, the 17th, and it closes on August the 7th, I believe. So there was lots of people that said, oh, nobody's going to show up. Well, I really think, I have a lot more confidence in this, the voters of Citrus Heights, that people are going to show up, and they're going to pick their representatives on the San Juan Unified School Board. So with that, that's all I had. So can I have the next item, please?
The next item we have is consent calendar items 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
I want to pull 5 for a comment and 10 for a separate vote.
Move approval of the consent calendar, absent 5 and 10.
Second.
Do I have a motion and a second? Okay, motion by
Second?
Daniels, second by Middleton. All right, so all those in favor?
Mayor,
Aye.
Aye. All those
Mayor.
opposed?
we do need a roll call vote since we
Oh,
do
we
have
need
a
a roll
council
call
member
vote?
that's
Okay,
remote.
so, can you call the roll on this, just those items, pulling item 5
And 10.
And 7, 10.
and 10?
So with that, with the remainder of the consent calendar, Councilmember Karpinski-Costa,
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez Taft,
Yes.
Councilmember Middleton,
Yes.
Mayor, or Vice Mayor Daniels,
Aye.
and Mayor Schaefer.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about item 5 first. What was your comment, please?
On item 5, I know we're initiating the proceedings tonight, and so it will open for public hearing at the next, I believe, the next council meeting. And I would really be interested, there are 4, unlike the next group, which is in item 6, these 4 zones in item 5, 2 of them are not sustaining themselves. And so would like to see in that report that comes to us, the extent to which, where the rest of the taxpayers are subsidizing those zones, and how much we've subsidized over time. Because I think since, when did they stop becoming self-sufficient, and that we had to kick in funds from other sources that could go for roads or other things? And so I kind of want to just get a feeling for what we've been through and what we're going to go through in the next several years with this project. And other than that, I'll move forward the item.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Karpinski Costa?
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez Taft?
Yes.
Councilmember Middleton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniels?
Aye.
And Mayor Schaefer?
Yes. Okay, so let's talk about item 10. This is,
I just wanted a separate vote.
you want
Move item
what?
10.
I'm sorry?
I'll move item number 10.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Karpinski Costa?
No.
Councilmember Lopez Taft?
Yes.
Councilmember Middleton?
No.
Vice Mayor Daniels?
Aye. Wow.
And Mayor Schaefer?
Yes. Okay. All right, next item. Next item, please.
Next item is public hearing, item number 11. The subject is resolution confirming report of delinquent solid waste charges and ordering collection of delinquencies on the property tax roll. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution of the city confirming a report of delinquent solid waste charges and ordering collection of delinquencies on the property tax roll.
Thank you, Amy. Does this need to switch into, thank you, Amy. Greetings, council members, Mayor Mary Poole with the General Services Department. And tonight the item before you is a resolution confirming the report of delinquent charges on the tax roll and ordering collection of those delinquencies. So we have a recommendation before you to conduct a public hearing for any and all persons having objections to the proposed collection of delinquent solid waste charges, penalties, and interest through the county tax roll, and then adopting the resolution of the city council confirming the report of the delinquent solid waste charges and ordering the collection on the tax roll. The authority for the city to move through this process is contained in Government Code 38790.1 and the Municipal Code, which provides the authority for the city to record the delinquent charges, as well as the direction to provide the public hearing. This public hearing was set back in June for tonight. And as of June 30th, we've had some time for folks to pay their delinquent charges, and the original number of delinquent accounts back then has been reduced by about 400. So originally the number was 1,420 delinquent accounts when we first were before you in June, and now it's down to 1,000, which is pretty typical, with a past due balance of around 500,000, penalties of the 10% at 50,000 and some change, and then a total due of $553,681.44. The process that brought us here tonight includes the June 8th date where the City Council set the public hearing for July 13th. This is done on an annual basis. This is required by our contract with Republic Services in order for the city to assist Republic to collect these delinquent accounts, balances due. On June 19th, Republic Services mailed a public hearing notice to all of the account holders. The city followed up with a public hearing notice to all of the registered property owners on the Sacramento County Assessor's Office database. The public hearing notice was published in the Citrus Heights Messenger, on June 30th, and then tonight the public hearing is being held. In August, a final reconciliation will be done with Republic Services, so there still may be a few accounts that are trickling in, getting paid the amounts due or working through any issues that they may have with Republic. And then in August, the city will submit the list, the final list, and the amounts due to the county, which will then be placed on the tax roll. The county will forward those payments to the city that come from the taxes in January and May, and then we'll turn around and forward those funds to Republic Services to make them whole. And that brings us back to the recommendation, and any questions that the council may have.
Great. Any questions from council members?
I have a question. What has been the trend, and do we have some gross offenders or multi-year offenders that this is happening with?
We have a list that we could certainly go back and look at, but I don't review the list to see who's on it and who isn't on it. It is available for public inspection through the city if someone were to want to come and look at it. I don't have past years list, but I do have the current years.
Thank you, Mary.
So basically, you get 100% compliance because they pay, it's on the property tax bill?
It goes on the property tax bill. So we do lose a few where properties turn over in between the time of these are bills that have been delinquent since March. And so if the property sells before,
So some could be vacant properties with nobody there.
typically they're not billing vacant. Well, you're right, yes. If there's some owned properties that are for sale or for rental properties that are
Well, I'm
vacant.
glad they continue to pick up the stuff even though they're not paying. It'd be awful if they decided, well, we just won't pick up your garbage.
We do have mandatory service in the city of Citrus Heights, and that is part of the reason we're able to offer that.
Question? I do have a question. Do you know what the total count of accounts that this is based on? That it's 1,002, you said? What's it?
Right, we have about 26,000 accounts, and it turns out to be around 4% of the account.
It seems high. It seems a little bit high.
It runs, our averages are between 944 to about 1,250 over time that I've been keeping track. Those are, it stays pretty much in those numbers. So 1,000 is pretty average.
So are these a mix of residential and business?
No, these are all residential
All
accounts.
residential, okay, thank you.
If it makes you feel better, the sewer delinquent accounts are 14,919 households for sewer delinquents, for a total of $10.87 million. That's
Wow. Pretty significant. Okay, so, any other questions, clarifying questions, or, okay? So, thank you, Mary. I'm gonna go ahead and open the public hearing. If there's anybody that would like to speak on this item, please go ahead and fill out a speaker card. So I'm gonna open the public hearing. Anybody who would like to come forward and speak on this item? Seeing none, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. And are there any additional clarifying questions from council? No? Okay. May I have a motion?
I move we adopt resolution of the City Council confirming a report of delinquent solid waste charges and ordering collection of delinquencies on the property tax roll.
Second.
Second.
Okay. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Karpinski Costa?
Yes?
Councilmember Lopez Taft?
Yes.
Councilmember Middleton?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniels?
Aye.
And Mayor Schaefer.
Aye. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Next item is regular calendar, item number 12. The subject is resolution to adopt affordable ownership guidelines, program guidelines. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution adopting the affordable ownership program guidelines and finding the project categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Casey Kempenaar, your Community Development Director, here tonight with Nicole Piva, our Housing and Human Services Coordinator. While Amy's getting that pulled up, I just want to give a couple of, an executive summary of this item. We were here back in February, and the council asked us to bring it back. We were short a couple council members, so wanted to bring it back to you to take this item. So this item is affordable housing guidelines. So these are the guidelines that guide us as we deal with affordable housing developers that are building new affordable units in the city. So it really provides for the rules of the guideposts of which we have to follow as we build these affordable units and the long-term maintenance of those. We are obligated for many state programs and funds to monitor the long-term affordability. It falls on the city's responsibility, not the developers. So we really took a look at how do we make, there's a lot of rules that guide this, but we really took a look at what can we do to make it better for the city in our rules to make it better for our residents. And so one of the things we were able to do is prioritize these units going to Citrus Heights residents. So Nicole will walk through that a little bit later, but we wanted to make sure that first right goes to the Citrus Heights residents, not someone from outside. It also is set up in a way to allow us to recoup our expenses. There's a significant amount of workload, not only when the housing units are built and sold the first time, but anytime there's a refinance, we have to do annual monitoring to make sure they're still meeting the criteria. There's a lot of legwork that has to be done, and that affects our staff load and ability to continue to monitor that in a way consistent with state law. So this allows us to require a developer to pay that cost up front, and we can kind of draw that down as time goes on. And last but not least, these are grant funded. The effort to do this was grant funded, and they're not set in stone. We can amend these at any time, but we think these are the best practice moving forward to make sure the city has rules in place as we deal with different developers and make sure that they understand what the rules are as we get into these discussions. Makes it easier to have those discussions with them to make sure they understand what our expectations are. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nicole Piva to go through a few details.
Okay, thanks, Casey, for that summary. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. Nicole Piva with the Community Development Department. I have a couple items that we just want to go over quickly. The goals of the program, the affordability. I'll go over some key highlights of the guidelines and applicable projects that would apply under these guidelines. So these program guidelines are really to create and preserve the long-term affordability homeownership opportunities. Guidelines define the process and the outline, the roles and responsibilities of the developer, the buyer, and the city. Provides a roadmap for the financial resources needed for this program for the long-term monitoring and reporting requirements. So what is affordable housing? An affordable housing unit is a unit that's sold to an eligible household with incomes up to 80% of area median income. So for an example, a family of 4 that earns up to $85,750 would be considered low income. HCD sets these income limits, and they do change annually. Some of the key highlights of these guidelines that we wanted to share with you is you do have to be a first-time home buyer. The guidelines do outline a marketing and outreach plan as homes are available. So we'll do a community outreach letting the community know that these homes are available, letting the buyers know that there's an interest list, and then any social media or press. So interested buyers will be ranked and selected as followed. So first priority would be given to those who currently live and work in Citrus Heights. Second priority would be to residents that live in Citrus Heights. Third would be those that work in Citrus Heights, and then fourth priority to all others. The buyers are required to attend a home buyer education orientation class. This is really just to educate the home buyer on what their roles and responsibilities are to be a successful homeowner. Some of the projects that may fall under these guidelines are housing developments proposed on surplus land, for an example, the Sylvan project. Another is a housing development requesting concessions or permit streamlining in exchange for providing affordable housing. So with that, I would like to recommend council approve these guidelines, the Affordable Ownership Program guidelines.
All right. Any questions from council members? Jane? No? Dana? Questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Brett?
Nope, I would move staff's recommendation.
Okay, so I have a question. So we have, and I was delighted to, Ash and I and the community development folks met, and Allison all met over at the Sayonara Drive, the site for the Habitat for Humanity homes. Does this speak to is this a different process than they use?
It's a little bit different. The Habitat for Humanity is an approved nonprofit by the state, so they can do their own monitoring. We have an agreement with them that guarantees that monitoring, but when it's a developer such as the Sylvan project where it's Woodside, where they're for-profit, that responsibility falls on us, and so these guidelines apply to them. Similar rules apply to the nonprofits, but the obligation falls on them and not us.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so let's go do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Karpinski Costa.
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez Taff.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Daniels.
Aye.
And Mayor Schaefer.
Aye, motion passes. All right, next item, please.
Next item is department reports, and there are none. So the next item is city manager items.
Well, good evening, Mayor Schaefer, Vice Mayor Daniels, members of the City Council, members of the community. Ash Feeney, your city manager, and I do have a few updates here for you. One, I just wanted to highlight as part of our Citrus Heights Cares campaign and their overall beautification efforts that we've been working on with your council and our staff team. And a big part of that is interagency coordination. And just wanted to give my gratitude to our Director of General Services, Regina Cave, for the positive relationship she's developed with our local Caltrans office, and it's really been paying a lot of dividends. Her team, as well as our impact team with the police department, have been collaborating with Caltrans to address challenging areas where we have a lot of litter and debris and things of that nature. And so this was a cleanup that they did on the eastbound I-80 off-ramp at Antelope. And not only did they clean up, but they also have gone in there and done a lot of trimming and continuing to maintain their area within our city. So definitely appreciative of those efforts. Just a few pictures here. If you want to continue to the next slide, you can kind of see some before and after pictures. These are some of the debris piles. If we can continue there, you can see here where they're doing some clearing. So you can see by just the sheer numbers of people that are turning out, they're really paying it a lot of attention, and we're very much appreciative of those efforts. We can continue there. We have a Sunrise Pointe that's recently opened, and they're taking in new residents at Sunrise Pointe, which is an affordable housing project that was approved by a prior council, and it's been in their construction for some time, and people have been waiting for that to open.
Is that the actual building, or is it just their?
No, those are the actual buildings, yeah. So that's the Sunrise Pointe.
Looks better here than it does when you look at it.
Well, they've been finishing it up, so to speak. They've been getting the finishing touches on it. So it is open. It's being occupied right now. They are looking to have a grand opening later on this fall, and they're going to let us know about that to have a tour and be able to turn out and take a look at that. So it's a development partnership with Jamboree Housing and Hope Cooperative at 7424 Sunrise. I think we've got a few other pictures of this. Just real quick from some details on it. It's 47 total units. 46 of them are low-income units. There's a manager on site. One of the nice things about this project, it does have wraparound services as part of that, so it continues to help the residents continue to better themselves and their quality of life, not only through housing, but other service provision means. It does have some nice amenities. I think we've got a picture of these on the next slide. So you can see here, they've got a community room, the community kitchen, some nice interiors, and then an outdoor courtyard. And if anyone wants to go on the jungle gym, you can do that too. And if anyone's interested in learning more about a potential opportunity to live at Sunrise Pointe, you can see the contact information listed on this slide, as well as a number of the community partners that have been involved with that.
Are those leased units? Do people lease them for a period of time, or can they find themselves in a position to move up and out?
Certainly, they can lease them for a period of time. It is an income qualified unit. If their situation changes and they can move up and out, then that's terrific, and that makes that unit available for somebody else.
Okay, so they're not bound to the lease if they hit the lottery or something?
I don't know all the details of the lease, but certainly it is one of the ones that the idea is we'd love to see folks continue to move on and make that available for somebody else.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Another housing project that's under construction, go by this one often, is the Fair Oaks Senior Affordable Apartments on, it's a Fair Oaks Boulevard between Madison and Greenback, for those that are not familiar with the address there. This was a project that was approved by council in 2019. It does count towards our regional housing needs analysis. 1 and 2 bedroom units, on-site manager, 108 total units. And this is restricted to people that are 55 and older, and their income needs to be between 30 and 80% of AMI, which has a tops out at $77,000, but as low as $25,000. So you can see providing good housing opportunities for our seniors within the community. So excited that that's going to be coming online. And this is, right now it's in the framing stage. I did notice they're wrapping it right now on some of the buildings, but this is a picture of the finished exterior and a listing of some of the amenities there. And if anyone's interested here, we're happy to put them in touch with the on-site property manager. Should be ready to go this fall. We talked a little bit about this when Vice Mayor Daniels asked about the severe weather that we're experiencing. It's going to be pretty hot this weekend. So this is a list of all the various cooling centers that are open within Sacramento County. And as Vice Mayor Daniels mentioned, Sacramento RT is providing free transit to these various locations. And so we have this information up on our webpage. If you want to learn more about hours, you can dial 211 or visit this website, 211sacramento.org. To learn more about the various routes, when cooling centers are open, so on and so forth. Our cooling center here in Citrus Heights is listed. It's our police station lobby that'll be open during those extreme heat times. We had a lot of fun this 4th of July, or July 1st, celebrating Independence Day. And this was really kind of stemming from one of the focus area work plan goals to have a patriotic event. And I think the patriotic event went very well. A lot of excitement around that. If we want to go to the next slide, it was our Stars and Stripes event. Again, occurred on July 1st. This is our flyer. And most importantly, here's some of the pictures of the fun that occurred. I share the sentiments that I heard from the council and many in the community. It was really a special, a magical night, just great vibes in the air, and just a lot of happy faces, one that I'll always remember. Packed house, that's for sure. And this is just a picture from the park in Van Maren as dusk was approaching, but also down Fountain Square Drive and Stock Ranch. There were just lots of happy people out there with their families and friends.
Did you have many mosquitoes?
We actually had plenty of the bins wipes, courtesy
I know,
of
but
the
did you
district.
see any bugs?
I didn't personally, but mosquitoes haven't been liking me lately, so.
It was the mosquitoes were like, oh my God, there's so many people to bite, they just couldn't do it.
Well, that's to choose from.
And this was a picture of the show, some of the fireworks that occurred. So a nice shot of City Hall and something definitely to celebrate. And certainly from a Stars and Stripes event standpoint, we had some great community partners that are listed here. Purple Pageant painted a lot of faces that day. Dignity Health had their first aid booth, and they also were very generous in working with us to provide some off-site parking at their facilities nearby, which really worked out. We also had the Hertz rentals for cooling and staging, so if anyone that was out there, you experienced some of those cooling zones, they were helping us out with those, as well as some of the lighting and some of the generators associated with that. SAC RT, great partner for shuttling our guests to some of those remote parking lots. POW was out there, our Police Activities League, helping our youth, and then Sunrise Park and Rec District. There's a lot of coordination that people don't know about to make sure that sprinklers don't come on at the wrong time, or you're not dealing with a mud bog when you put that kind of people on there. Good partners on that.
And Mary had compost bins, the little compost bins.
Absolutely.
I love my
Mary
compost
Poole made sure that we were compliant, and we had all the various bins we needed.
And the plants, and people
There
to
was
get plants.
potted plants that were happening. There was decorations that were going on for bikes and strollers, and just a wonderful time. And appreciate council's sentiments for the team. Definitely cannot thank them enough. Our General Services Director, Regina Cave, really poured her heart and soul into this, and it showed. And her entire team, as well as our wider team, were very much involved in this, and just was a really well-done event, especially given that we brought this forward in January of this year. It was kind of a short planning horizon, and I just was really pleased with the way it came off. So yeah, it was fun hanging out with the community that night.
And did we stay within the budget?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
And this is, we've been getting some publicity here, so I believe that concludes all my slides.
Great. Thank you very much for that. All right, so can I have the next item, please?
So the next items requested by council members or future agenda items.
I have one.
Okay.
I'd like, if you guys think it's good, to look at having a sister city. I was particularly thinking of the Ukraine, when their war is over, but that we need to know the process and what's involved. I was thinking, since we have a huge Ukraine community in Citrus Heights, to involve them, and it would work on our focus area of community connection, particularly with a part of our city that may feel alienated, you know, because they do. So I was just thinking if we could, it doesn't have to be like in a hurry, we could just, because it looks like the war's going on for a while. So if you
Well,
just,
I did get a letter in regard to that, and I was a little concerned about what the implications of that might be, so,
I don't know the implications, that's,
well, when I started looking at the other sister cities that they are with that particular city,
yeah?
it was two
they
cities
had a
in
special
Germany,
city?
and there's,
Oh.
it was really,
Well, I have no
confusing.
special city in mind, so this might be a
anyway.
different city.
So
Big country.
I certainly will support you if you want to discuss that.
You know, if I may, Mayor, I remember I kind of shared that letter with the city manager to share with you. And Jana, I'm 100% on board with that. I think that we need to show that our Ukrainian and our Slavic community that we are here to support them. And if there are any hurdles that are there, I'm sure we could find a way to navigate around them. So I'm happy to support.
Okay?
I'm happy
Doesn't
to
have to
support
be
that as well.
huge or immediate, you know, just, I've wanted to do this since the last time I was on council.
We're hearing that that's going to be a future item, and we'll study that and bring that back at a future meeting when the time's
Thank you.
right. Absolutely.
Thank you, Portia.
Great.
Of course.
All right, with that, before we depart here, I did not thank Casey and Nicole for their presentation. I kind of moved on from that really quickly, so I apologize and thank you very much for your hard work. So anyhow, with that, it looks like adjournment is the next item, so I'm going to happily adjourn this. And I think this is one of the quickest meetings we've had. It was only about,
Portia
I don't
needs
know,
to go have her
50
dinner.
minutes or so, very good.
Yeah, I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah. Have a great dinner, Portia.
Thank you. Have a good night,
Everyone else as
everyone.
well. Take care. Bye.
Oh, and thanks for the Auburn Boulevard plan.